right, the 2023 high school football season has already gotten off to a quick start. That's right, we're already in the part of the year where the tune-up non-district games are wrapping up for some. Meanwhile, others are ready for that record to actually mean something, and that started today. All right, let's start with some of the lower stakes, and then we're going to work our way up. Aaron Gelvin is at our game of the week between Midland Legacy and Judson. This is a clash between two historic programs. When the Rockets and the Rebels square off, the product never seems to disappoint. You've already seen him. Aaron Gelvin is out on the sidelines to take us through what happened. And the question is, did this one live up to the hype? Aaron, what do you got for us?
Well, as you can tell, Jenna, a very windy night here, a hot windy night at Astound Broadband Stadium. And to answer that question, yes, it did live up to the hype. As you mentioned, two of the most historic programs in all of Texas when it comes to high school football. They collide here in the Tall City. This one had so many momentum swings, so many back and forths in this football game. And I don't want to spoil the ending for you, so let's go ahead and look at those first half highlights. The Rebels looking to get revenge for last year's 60-50 loss on the road, and turnovers were a big part of the story tonight as the Rockets would fumble deep in the Rebel end as Jace Colmia falls on the ball, and Legacy was in business. A long drive leads the Rebs to the doorstep, and Damian Johnson pays off the fumble, taking it in to put LHS up 7-0. Rebels trying to add to the lead, but the ball is fumbled right to a Judson player who would bring it all the way back the other way, tying this game at 7. With Legacy trailing 14-7, Damian Johnson says, let's play it again as he scores his second of the night, and Legacy High would take a 15-14 lead after a 2-point conversion. Rebs down 2 now, and it's Tommy Johnson doing his best Baker Mayfield impression. He says, get your weight up, little boy. And the Rebels took a 22-17 lead into the locker room. I am here with Damian Johnson, the do-it-all man for the Legacy Rebels. Damian, 4 touchdowns tonight, 3 rushing, 1 on that kick return. What was working for you all over the field tonight?
Yes, sir. I wanted to really thank my teammates for the great blocking, great game plan coming into the game. You know, we just had a mindset, get that salty taste out of our mouth from last week. Had to get a shake back, going to a bye week, finna rest up, get ready for friendship.
Well, you just heard from him, Damian Johnson. He was the best football player on the field tonight. He found the end zone 4 different times. Absolutely phenomenal, playing both running back and defensive back for the Rebs tonight. LHS, they improved to 4-1 going into their bye week, going into district play. As you heard Damian say, they kind of washed that bad taste out of their mouths from the loss last week at Steele, and the Rebels rolling into district with a very good win. They get revenge from last season's loss in San Antonio. That's going to do it for me here from Astound Broadband Stadium. Let's take it back to the studio.
Well, thanks, Aaron. It's time for the Legacy team to rest up. Like you said, Midland High looked to continue an already special season night, searching for a 5-0 start. The ground attack was electric again for the Bulldogs. Elijah McCoy trots down the middle of the field for a 50-yard score for the first touchdown of the night. The air attack was also making some moves tonight. Usually don't say that. Tristan Love connects with Tim Babino, and the receiver takes the ball all the way down to the 5. McCoy on the ground would put the exclamation point on this drive as MHS extends the lead out to 14-0. The Eagles would eventually put together a scoring drive. It would be the next drive, but Midland High would be on the prowl again. And this time it's going to be Love who's going to break away for 6. Just check this out. Midland High cruises to victory, 62-14. Watch out for the Bulldogs. They're 5-0 heading into the break. And Permian wants to head into a bye with a winning record too. Abilene Cooper, the only team in their way. Mojo worked the running game from the jump. Offense in the red zone. Justice Lara sneaks through a hole for the 2-yard score for the 6-0 lead. Panther special team also showed up tonight. The ensuing kickoff is going to be muffed and Caleb Jamison will get his hands on that ball with a nice return for the visitors. They would score again in a few plays to go up 13-0. The Cougars would eventually get on the board, cutting the lead down to just one score, but Permian would want to snatch that control right back. Justice Lara, the running back, is going to break through the defense for a long score, go up 20-6. Mojo would close out this game and win 41-20. And Week 5 treated our 6As well. The Broncos also concluded non-district play yesterday with a big win. This came down to a game-winning field goal off the foot of, you guessed it, Adric Rivera. Odessa High is now 3-1 heading into the bye. And fans of Game Time know what's coming next. It's time for our Basin Battle Roundup. Tyler Dubnik and Jason Freund are on standby ready to guide us through the action next.
We're the Broncos, and you're watching Game Time on News West 9. Let's go, Broncos!
Tyler, mic check 1 2 3. Tyler, mic check 1 2.
Mic check 1 2 3.
All right, and Game Time Week 5 rolls on with area teams putting their strengths to the test against other familiar opponents. There were a couple of big games on the docket tonight, so I asked our friends Tyler and Jason to help us out and break down these fun ones. First one, we're going to push Jason out, bring Tyler in. We're checking out the undefeated Seminole Indians that hosted the Pecos Eagles tonight. Tyler, how'd that one go? My bad.
Yeah, Jenna, it's here tonight at Wigwam Stadium. It was an exciting one as the Seminole Indians come in with a 4-0 record, best start to a season since 2003. Pecos, meanwhile, flying across the base and looking to hand the Indians their first loss of the season, but as they would find out, it would be a tough task. The 2-1 Pecos Eagles paying a visit to the still undefeated 4-0 Seminole Indians, and Caden Kramer with the unconquered sledgehammer, just foreshadowing on a smoky night for one tribe at Wigwam Stadium. On the second drive of the game, it's Brent Gonzalez capping off a methodical drive with a 1-yard touchdown plunge 7-0 Seminole early. Pecos on their next drive, though, they would answer. A read option, quarterback run for Colt Salgado. He bangs into the end zone for 6 to even the score at 7 early on. Now back on offense for the Indians. They were quick all night, and their blocking up front was fantastic on this play, as there goes Gonzalez right up the middle, scampering into the end zone for the touchdown to regain the lead. Now Gonzalez with his arm over the middle to Stephen Davis for the 6-yard touchdown, 21-7 Seminole. Remember all that smoke? It was a cannon shot, this coming after the touchdowns. But that wasn't it in the first half. Caden Kramer gets to carry, and it's a run you have to see to believe. The men, 6'4", shifty as all can be, breaking tackles, spinning away. Now he's got blockers in front, linemen downfield. Kramer's gonna go all the way! A 50-plus yard touchdown run for Kramer to make it 28-13, and then after a late Pecos fumble, why not use those big uglies again? Here's Gonzalez with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the half, 35-13 Seminole at the break. All right, here with Braden Gonzalez, the quarterback for the Seminole Indians, and you guys win tonight 56-13, really a resounding win. What was the key tonight to putting this one to the Pecos Eagles?
Well, on film, we saw that they try to do a lot of where they get to take away our screen game, and that's a big part of our offense. But we just had to plan around that, and luckily we had some good depth in the running back room, and we were able to run it down their throats.
Yeah, definitely. Final score tonight from Wigwam Stadium, 56-13 Seminole over Pecos, an absolute drubbing behind an absolutely dominant performance by the offensive line as they paved the way all night long for a massive day on the ground. You heard a piece of my conversation with Braden Gonzalez. That full interview will be on our News West 9 Game Time tab on newswest9.com later tonight. Great interview that I had, great conversation with Braden. Asked him about that Caden Kramer touchdown run from his perspective. He gave me a fun response. Jenna, Seminole halfway through a perfect regular season as they continue to roll and find different ways to win.
Thanks, Tyler. We're definitely going to want to check out that interview, like he said, on our website under the Game Time tab. Well, last season's Kermit-Forsan game was one where you could describe it was electric, with the Yellow Jackets pulling off the win. But did the fireworks continue? The Buffaloes were 3-1 coming into this road trip. Jason Freund is on the scene. We invite him back. He's going to get us all caught up and answer the question of whether or not this one ended up being explosive again.
Well, yeah, Jenna, this was a very close back-and-forth battle between the Kermit Yellow Jackets and the Forsan Buffaloes, as these teams were hitting each other with everything they had. Now, the offense came through a lot of the short game. It usually came through things like 5-yard slant passes, short passes, 5 to 6 yard runs that were run up the middle. But there were a few splash plays here and there that netted some big chunks of yardage. And of course, the running game was a big part of this game for both teams. And well, just look these first half highlights to see it. Tight back and forth contest today as the Kermit Yellow Jackets look to upend the hometown Forsan Buffaloes. Buffaloes looking to score. Quarterback Nick Holloway is going to fake the handoff, and look at the one-handed snag by Bryson Cervantes. He's going to gain some steam, and nobody is going to stop him on his way to the end zone. It's going to be 7-0 Forsan. But wait, they're not done yet. Pitch is going to go to Grant Roman, who rounds the corner and takes a hard hit, but he holds on for the score. Forsan expands their lead to 14-0. But now Kermit wants to respond. Mauricio Jones takes the snap. He's going to lob it up there. Catch made, but now it's a wrestling match between Kermit's Quinn Carroll and Forsan's Dustin Spalla. Both men fighting for the ball, but it's going to be Carroll who walks away with the ball and the touchdown. Kermit's on the board. By the way, that penalty for defensive pass interference was declined. Forsan would respond another 7 points, but Jones has the Jackets back in the red zone. That's Bryson Bennett wide open for the catch to score, but he got a little too excited and was hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Touchdown still good, 21-13 Forsan. But Forsan has one more chance to extend their lead, and they take it. The pitch worked before, so why not do it again? Robin takes it and trots into the end zone to push Forsan's lead to 27-13 at the half. And much like the first half, the second half was a lot of the same when it came to that back and forth action. Now, Forsan did have the lead going into the second half, but the Yellow Jackets refused to go down against the Buffaloes. They scored a touchdown with under 2 minutes to go, and they tried to get that onside kick. They tried to recover it, but alas, it didn't work for them. They tried to burn out the clock. They tried to hold Forsan on that offense, but it just wasn't working for them. Forsan's going to take this one 40-32, and they're going to head into a bye week going to next week. Back to you, Jenna.
All right, Ratliff is occupied by a couple different teams tonight. It was Alpine and Compass Academy. They squared off for their first district game. The Cougars pounced on this game quickly. The ball fake would be a success. Max Tucker receives the ball and runs it into the end zone to extend the Compass lead out to 14-0. Second quarter, more on the ground for the Cougs. It's Christian Davalos with the help to tack on 6 more. And 22 seconds left in the half. Alpine gets its best chance on 4th down. Logan Smith powers his way to pay dirt. It would be 4th down, and Alpine would come back and win this one, 28-21. And the Basin battles aren't done yet. We'll head over to the 6-man field next. And of course, we still got plenty of action left to get through for this week's edition of Game Time. So let's hop right back in. All right, I don't know how many times we've said this so far this season, but we have a 6-man Basin battle alert. Buena Vista and Balmorhea both battled to get above 500. This game was exciting from the jump. The opening kickoff lands in the hands of Jordan Rodriguez, and it's off to the races. But it would be a fumble at the 1-yard line, and it would be Elijah Jefferson that knocks the ball loose. But Balmorhea still had the ball, and Ethan Villanueva connects with Landon Lopez for a senior-to-senior touchdown. Longhorns turn to an answer, but it would be picked off and right into the hands of Jefferson. This time, the turnover was a turnover, and for a nice return, that was only the beginning for the defender. Jefferson earns another pick for the Balmorhea defense, and it would be Balmorhea that would win this one 42-22. All right, continuing in 6-man action, we've got a contest between Midland Trinity and Denton Calvary. and it would be district play too. The Chargers were red hot to start the second half. Jude Varner would weave through the defense and into the end zone for the 21-8 lead in the second frame. The offense would use the good field position from a turnover on down forced by the defense for the long ball. Jaden Hoffman uncorks this one for 6. The Lions found some offense toward the end of the quarter, but in the final seconds of the half, the home team would strike again. Varner takes the toss all the way to the house, and it would be a 37-16 lead at half. We're still looking for that final score. And Ira Ann hosted Abilene TLCA for its last tune-up before district play starts, hoping to peek its head above 500. The Braves were moving the ball with ease in this contest. Cole Bowman finds Angel Zapata, who sneaks into that corner of the end zone right by the pylon. And then it would be more from the QB. Bowman finds his brother Cooper in the flat for another score. The Braves would lead this one 40-0 at the break. It would be a 58-7 final. All right, coming up next, it all comes down to this, the best, and this week's edition of Top Plays.
We're the Permian Panthers, and you're watching Game Time on News West 9. Go Mojo! Yeah!
All right, you know what time it is. It's time for Top Plays. We got the football